Looking younger than your age is not a coincidence, and it is certainly not merely a genetic gift. It is a reflection of how you are perceived, and perception is the first battlefield of influence. In a world that worships power but is deceived by appearance, seeming youthful becomes an unspoken weapon. It causes underestimation, it breeds curiosity, it evokes envy and desire. The world judges you by the shell it sees before it knows the force you carry within. And when that shell defies time, you create dissonance in others. They cannot place you, and in that confusion, you gain ground. This is not about vanity, this is about leverage. When you appear younger, people instinctively associate you with energy, ambition, vitality. You become a mirror they either admire or resent, but always remember, youth suggests adaptability, your capacity to evolve, to remain fluid where others have hardened. While others are eroded by the rigidity of routine and the complacency of age, your appearance suggests that you are still in motion, still unpredictable. You are not part of the decaying herd, you are outside of time's grip, and that unnerves them. In the court of life, where every interaction is a power dynamic, youth becomes currency. It disarms enemies, charms allies, and invokes desire in those who hunger for their lost vitality. To look younger is to cloak your experience beneath a layer of disarming innocence. Your enemies may see a soft face and think you are naive, but they do not see the blade hidden beneath the surface. They prepare for a child, but are met with a strategist. That delay in judgment, that miscalculation, is your opening. This perceived youth also creates an aura. It draws attention before you even speak. People lean in not just to your words, but to your mystery. They wonder why you do not age like they do, why the world has not eroded you. They project stories onto you, some flattering, others filled with silent resentment, but all of them center around the image you command. This is the seed of influence. Invisibility is death, but mystery is domination. Looking younger also allows you to navigate both worlds, the realm of the old and the world of the young. You are not fixed to a single generation's expectations. You observe without being questioned. You move without alerting. This dual existence is the mark of someone who is playing the long game, someone who sees the board beyond the next move. It gives you access others are denied. Where they are bound by how the world categorizes them, you remain uncategorized. And in that fluidity, you remain untouchable. Stress is the invisible assassin of men. It steals time not by the hour, but by the breath. The face tightens, the eyes sink, the skin cracks, not because of age, but because of unchecked emotion. The man who appears younger than he is has not escaped time. He has mastered his response to it. While others allow the external world to dictate their internal state, he governs his emotions like a sovereign over a turbulent kingdom. He is not without chaos, but he is unmoved by it. This detachment is not apathy, it is strategy. It is the silent discipline of controlling what cannot be seen, and therefore cannot be fought by those who envy it. Most men carry their wounds on their faces. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every humiliation etches a deeper line into their skin. Their pain becomes their identity, and the world reads it like an open book. But the man who conceals his internal battle gains an edge. He learns to endure in silence, to suffer without display. And in doing so, he preserves not only his dignity, but his appearance. The absence of visible pain is misread as peace, and that illusion becomes power. Emotional chaos ages more than time ever could. A man who constantly reacts, who loses control to anger, jealousy, fear, his energy is drained at every turn. His nervous system burns like a candle lit at both ends. But the man who restrains his reactions, who holds himself like a fortress, finds that his body reflects that inner calm. His skin remains composed, his posture erect, his eyes alert but not frantic. This composure is not a gift, but a cultivated weapon. He has made stillness a habit and silence a tool. When a man refuses to engage in petty emotional theatrics, he denies the world the satisfaction of seeing him bleed. He does not scream when attacked, nor flinch when threatened. He maintains control, not just to appear strong, but to remain unmarked. His face becomes unreadable, his aura untouchable. This is why he looks untouched by time, because time feeds on emotional disarray, and he has denied it that feast. Furthermore, this emotional detachment is misinterpreted as youth by those who cannot comprehend control. The average man is noisy with feelings. He speaks too quickly, reacts too harshly, panics too easily. He thinks aging is about years, not damage. But the truth is, every emotional outburst, every loss of control, is a withdrawal from the account of vitality. The man who remains calm makes fewer withdrawals. He protects his energy like gold, releasing it only when necessary, never when provoked. Those who do not feel in control will always appear like they're drowning. Their faces betray them. But the man who keeps his storms inside, who turns emotion into fuel, wears a mask of serenity that fools even the wise. His youthful face is not the result of pampering or indulgence. It is the battle armor of a man who has denied the world his weakness and kept his suffering in the shadows where it belongs. Solitude is not loneliness, it is self-preservation. The man who looks younger than his age is not constantly surrounded by others because he understands that most people drain, distract, and destroy. He has learned that the company of the average person is not nourishment but erosion. Their words, habits, and energies are like water against stone, soft but relentless. And so he withdraws, not because he fears the world, but because he understands its corrosion. Every moment in isolation becomes a moment of repair, of conservation, of sharpening. When you are constantly in the presence of others, you absorb their neuroses, their insecurities, their unconscious self-destruction. Most people carry burdens they do not understand and leak toxicity they refuse to acknowledge. They laugh too loud, complain too often, live in chaos, and call it connection. To remain constantly entangled with such minds is to age prematurely. The body responds to subtle war, the false smiles, the backhanded compliments, the competitive glances. It internalizes the tension, the betrayal, the quiet envy. But the man who limits these exposures is not just protecting his peace, he is preserving his youth. To the world, he seems distant, perhaps even cold, but his absence from trivial interaction is not indifferent, it is wisdom. He knows that his energy is finite, and he spends it as a king would spend his last coin. He does not speak where silence is stronger, and he does not appear where absence holds more power. The fewer battles he fights, the less damage he takes, and with less damage he endures, while others wither. This solitude also grants him time to observe. While others are busy filling silence with noise, he listens to what is not said. He watches the masks people wear, the patterns they repeat, the self-deceptions they cling to. Observation, not participation, sharpens him. His solitude makes him dangerous because it has made him aware. The more he knows, the less he reacts. And the less he reacts, the more control he maintains, not just over his mind, but over his biology. There is also a physical consequence to solitude. Less exposure to artificial stress, to social expectation, to constant judgment, keeps the nervous system calm. The man who does not live under the microscope of others does not force himself into roles that don't fit him. He does not smile when he does not want to, He does not exhaust himself pretending. And in that authenticity, his body relaxes, heals, and reflects that quiet truth on his skin, his posture, his presence. He does not chase companionship because he understands its cost. Most seek others to escape themselves. He seeks no escape, for he has mastered being alone. In that solitude, he finds not just clarity, but restoration. While others age from exposure, he renews in silence. While they seek validation from 100 hollow voices, he walks untouched by their judgment. And unnoticed by time, mastery over the flesh is not simply a matter of physical health. It is visible proof of internal discipline. The man who appears younger than his years is not blessed, he is brutal in his self-regulation. While others are ruled by appetite, fatigue, and laziness, he becomes the ruler of his own temple. He eats with purpose, sleeps with precision, moves with intention. Every action concerning his body is a political decision in the war for longevity and power. His physique is not about vanity. It is a message. It tells the world that he cannot be owned by impulse, that he is a man who bends the animal within to his will. In a world addicted to comfort, he chooses discomfort. He fasts when others gorge. He trains when others rest. He chooses posture over collapse, cold over heat, simplicity over indulgence. Each moment he denies himself pleasure, he grows stronger. And with every repetition of this denial, his body reflects the victory. The muscles do not sag, the skin does not dull, and the eyes remain sharp. And not because he fears aging, but because he refuses to decay through softness. Discipline, for him, is not seasonal. It is identity. The body ages quickly when treated like a playground. Those who live for indulgence pay the price in years stolen from their faces, in energy drained from their blood. Sugar, sloth, sleep deprivation, overexposure to stimulation. These are the poisons most willingly drink daily. But the man who observes his body as a machine, a vessel for his mission, sees through this seduction. He denies the world access to his vitality. He learns to take pride not in what he consumes, but in what he refuses. His restraint is his edge. This mastery extends into ritual. The disciplined man lives by structure. He wakes early not because it is trendy, but because chaos cannot touch the man who sets his own rhythm. He trains not to impress, but to control. He recovers not with indulgence, but with strategy. Stretching, sleep cycles, water intake, these are not mundane habits. They are his daily revolt against entropy. His routine is his resistance against the slow march of death that others ignore until it is too late. There is a quiet arrogance in his walk, not the kind born of delusion, but the kind earned through countless mornings of discipline no one witnessed. His skin glows not from cosmetics, but from years of proper blood flow, of sweat earned through battle with himself. His face is not tired because he has not been drunk with distraction. His body is a reflection of war, and he wears its preservation like a badge. People stare and think he is lucky. They fail to see the cost. The truth is brutal. Those who let their bodies rot betray their minds. The man who disciplines his flesh commands respect before he speaks a single word. He enters a room and alters the atmosphere, not through force, but through proof of silent sacrifice. Mystery is the armor of the powerful. The man who appears younger than his years is not merely defined by clear skin or steady posture. He is cloaked in ambiguity. He reveals little, speaks less, and watches everything. In a world addicted to oversharing, his silence is unsettling. His restraint makes others wonder, and in their wondering he holds power. They do not know where he's been, what he's done, or what he wants. And that ignorance creates tension, attention he controls with the precision of a blade. He is a riddle people obsess over, an equation they cannot solve, and this keeps him mentally untouchable and physically intriguing. Most age not from time, but from exposure. They give too much of themselves away, thinking transparency is virtue. They wear every thought on their face, every failure in their voice. They post their secrets, their sadness, their rage, for the world to consume. But the man who remains veiled, who allows no one full access to his internal world, remains preserved, not just in spirit, but in appearance, because mystery shields the soul from being devoured by the hungry eyes of society. The less others know of him, the less they can drain, and in that lack of access, he regenerates. Mystery reduces noise. The man who is not broadcasting his life is not drowning in responses. He is not altered by opinions, not reshaped by trends. His thoughts are not outsourced, and his emotions are not manipulated by reaction. He lives in the stillness of his own design. In this solitude of secrecy, stress cannot fester, comparison cannot grow. The mirror reflects only him, not the shadows of those who try to define him. And without those shadows, he glows in a way that others cannot. That glow is mistaken for youth, but it is actually peace. Earned peace, protected peace. Even his appearance becomes a tool of misdirection. He is dressed simply, but well. He says little, but observes everything. His reactions are deliberate, not reflexive. When questioned, he answers without revealing. When praised, he accepts without revealing vanity. When attacked, he smiles without revealing rage. This ambiguity keeps enemies cautious and allies fascinated. They do not know if he is soft or steel, saint or serpent. And in that uncertainty, he becomes legend. Legends do not age, they are remembered as they were in their prime, because they never allowed the world to witness their decline. Mystery also grants him control over his energy. Since no one fully knows him, no one truly expects anything from him. Expectations are chains. The mysterious man walks unchained. He can evolve, shift, disappear, reappear without explanation. He is not imprisoned by consistency because he never promised anyone an identity to cling to. This freedom keeps him young because he is not performing a role that exhausts him. He does not have to maintain a persona he no longer resonates with. He simply exists quietly, powerfully, and untouched by the need to be understood. The man who looks younger than his age is not a man of chance. He is a man of control. His appearance is not merely skin deep. It is the surface evidence of an inner kingdom governed with discipline, mystery, solitude, emotional restraint, and physical mastery. While others surrender to the chaos of indulgence, attention, seeking, and emotional leakage, he preserves himself like a fortress untouched by siege. He understands that youth is not a number. It is a reflection of how well one hides their wounds, how fiercely one guards their peace, and how strategically one uses perception as a weapon. He does not age like others because he does not live like others. He plays the long game, cloaked in silence, sharpened by solitude, driven by intention. And while the world decays in noise and indulgence, he ascends in stillness, untouched, unread, and unforgettable.